हेलो स्टूडेंट्स। तो हम वही केमिकल रिएक्शंस एंड इक्वेशंस चैप्टर को कंटिन्यू करेंगे। तो अभी हमारा वही सेकंड टॉपिक कंटिन्यू होगा। लास्ट क्लास में कॉम्बिनेशन रिएक्शंस के कुछ एग्जांपल मैंने दिए थे आपको। हाय राहुल। तो लेट्स स्टार्ट। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। तो टॉपिक्स वही सेकंड टॉपिक आपका चैप्टर का कवर होगा। तो डिकम्पोजिशन ऑफ वेजिटेबल मैटर। तो ये वीडियो देखते हैं। तो ये आप लोग मार्क किए होगे। अगर आप ऐसे ही कोई भी वेजिटेबल को छोड़ दोगे, उस पर फंगस लगेगा, फंगस लग के वो ब्लैक पड़ के ख़राब हो जाएगा। ठीक है। तो वो क्यों होता है? उसका रीज़न होता है बैक्टीरिया एंड बैक्टीरिया एंड प्रोटोजोआ। ठीक है। तो ये क्या करते हैं, जो आपके प्रोटीन्स, फैट्स, हाई सहज होगा। तो प्रोटीन्स, फैट्स और कार्ब्स जो भी होते हैं कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स आपके फूड के, उसको ब्रेक डाउन करता है। तो आप लोग ये मार्क किए होगे, जो आपके गार्बेज कलेक्टर होते हैं वो हमेशा आपको बोलते हैं कि ड्राई वेस्ट और वेट वेस्ट को अलग रखना है। वेट वेस्ट क्या होता है? इसमें बायोडिग्रेडेबल मटेरियल्स डाला जाता है। ओके। बायोडिग्रेडेबल एज इन आपके फूड वेस्ट, आपका ये जो भी प्लेट पे था, बोन्स या फिर आपके जूस या फिर जो भी बायोडिग्रेडेबल है, बेसिकली वॉट एवर नेचर कैन डिग्रेड ऑन इट्स ओन। और इसमें आप नॉन बायोडिग्रेडेबल डालते हो ड्राई वेस्ट में। ठीक है। तो इसमें क्या होता है? प्लास्टिक्स, वुड, कार्डबोर्ड, वुड एक अच्छा वुड भी आप डाल सकते हो। एज वुड को बायोडिग्रेडेबल करने के लिए बहुत साल लग जाते हैं, तो यू कैन पुट। या फिर आपके मेटल्स, तो इसको जो आपका वेस्ट डिस्पोजल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होगा आपके स्टेट या सिटी का, वो फिर इसको सेग्रीगेट करके प्लास्टिक्स को ट्राई करेगा रिन्यू करने के लिए, कार्डबोर्ड को ट्राई करेगा रिन्यू करने के लिए, वुड को ट्राई करेगा मे बी सॉ डस्ट बना के उसको फिर यूज़ करने के लिए, मेटल्स को फिर से मेल्ट करके फिर से रीयूज़ करने का ट्राई करेगा, बायोडिग्रेडेबल मटेरियल्स को ट्राई करेगा, लेट्स से ऑर्गेनिक मैन्योर, इसको मे भी मैन्योर में कन्वर्ट करके पैकेट में बेचेगा। तो ये सब यूजेस हो सकते हैं। हाँ, डिकम्पोजिशन ऑफ मैटर इज़ वेजिटेबल वेस्ट। वेजिटेबल मैटर एक्सोथर्मिक प्रोसेस होता है। तो अगर आप कभी कंपोस्ट पिट के आसपास रहोगे, गाँव में होता है ये, ठीक है, तो वो कंपोस्ट पिट को अगर कोई खोलेगा या खोदेगा तो वो थोड़ा गर्म रहता है। रीज़न इज़, जब ये डिकम्पोजिशन ऑफ वेजिटेबल मैटर होता है वो एक एक्सोथर्मिक प्रोसेस होता है, एनर्जी रिलीज होता है उसमें। ठीक है। बेसिकली आपके लेट्स से जो प्रोटीन्स है वो ब्रेक डाउन होके नए न्यू सब्सटेंसेस बनाए, लेट्स से पॉलीपेप्टाइड्स, ये सब होता है। बायो में इसका ज़्यादा आपको नॉलेज होगा। तो प्रोटीन जब पॉलीपेप्टाइड्स बनता है, पुराने बॉन्ड जो कि प्रोटीन में होंगे वो ब्रेक होके न्यू बॉन्ड्स बनाते हैं। ठीक है। जब न्यू बॉन्ड्स बनते हैं तब एनर्जी निकलता है। ठीक है। तो जब एनर्जी निकलेगा तो आपके ये एक्सोथर्मिक प्रोसेस होगा। ठीक है। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड चलते हैं। तो वेजिटेबल मैटर इज डिकम्पोज टू कंपोस्ट बाय माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स ब्रेकिंग द केमिकल बॉन्ड्स बिटवीन द एटम्स। वही है, जैसे शुगर्स को में भी ये सिंपलर शुगर जैसे ग्लूकोज में कन्वर्ट कर देता होगा, प्रोटीन्स को पॉलीपेप्टाइड्स। तो वो सब क्या है? माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स, बैक्टीरिया और प्रोटोजोआ। ठीक है। ये लोग कन्वर्ट करते हैं। अर्थवर्म भी करता है। अर्थवर्म का जो फीसिस होता है वो सॉइल को सॉर्ट ऑफ कंज्यूम करके फीसिस एक देता है। वो फीसिस भी रिच इन ऑर्गेनिक मैटर होता है। ठीक है। बेसिकली आपका गोल है कि जो भी आपका सॉइल में जाएगा, ठीक है, जब सॉइल में जाएगा दो शुड बी सिंपलर मटेरियल्स, ठीक है, नॉट कॉम्प्लेक्स. तो प्रोटीन इज अ कॉम्प्लेक्स मटेरियल, शुगर्स आर अ कॉम्प्लेक्स मटेरियल, ग्लूकोज इज अ सिंपलर मटेरियल. प्रोटीन से आपका सिंपलर क्या, वो आप देखोगे शेड्यूल तो पता चले. एग्जैक्टली मुझे पता नहीं राहुल कब कब बायो का क्लास है. आप टेलीग्राम चैनल में रहो और हमारा जो अभी तक वीडियो आया है वो भी एक बार आप देख लेना चैनल पे. आई थिंक 4 टाइम्स अ वीक आई थिंक एटलीस्ट तो है बायो का क्लास, आई थिंक ड्यूरिंग आफ्टरनून टाइम, ठीक है. माइक्रोऑर्गेनिज्म बाय ब्रेकिंग द केमिकल बॉन्ड्स बिटवीन द एटम्स. तो यू नीड सिंपलर मटेरियल्स. जैसे आपका जो फर्टिलाइज़र होता है, ठीक है, तो वो सिंपलर फॉर्म में होता है, प्रोटीन फॉर्म में नहीं हो. जैसे हमें प्रोटीन्स चाहिए टू बिल्ड आवर बॉडी एंड मेंटेन द मसल मास एंड एवरीथिंग. तो आपका गोल क्या है, ये सॉइल है उससे प्लांट्स उगेंगे और प्लांट से आपको फूड मिलेगा. वी कांट ग्रो आवर ओन फूड, सो वी आर डिपेंडेंट ऑन प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स फॉर इट. तो जैसे आप दोगे, इसमें लोग देते हैं यूरिया. यूरिया एक फर्टिलाइज़र है. तो यूरिया में नाइट्रोजन होता है, कार्बन होता है. यूरिया का फॉर्मूला क्या होता है, C+O NH2 NH2, ठीक है, यूरिया हो गया. तो यूरिया इज़ अ फर्टिलाइज़र. तो यूरिया को फिर ये प्लांट्स क्या करते हैं, उनका खुद का बायो मैकेनिज्म होगा, आप लोग जानते होंगे बेटर. तो ये इसको प्रोटीन्स में कन्वर्ट करेगा फिर. तो वो प्रोटीन प्लांट को फिर एक हर्बीवोर खाएगा. हर्बीवोर खा के फिर वो अपना मसल मास बढ़ाएगा. फिर हर्बीवोर को sometimes we are eating, let's say you are eating chicken. I'm not sure chicken is probably a omnivore. Let's say in western countries, या फिर so they eat domesticated animals like buffalo and all that. So those are herbivores. So western countries, even India में few places, but majorly western countries. So that is, and thus we get their protein in our body and we change it to muscle mass, your bones, everything that is required to maintain. Hello Uvix, ठीक है. So your goal when you are giving anything for plants to grow is to make it as simple as possible, because plants cannot convert protein to protein. They need something like urea, simpler protein stuff, maybe those polypeptides. Okay, next slide. So energy is released due to decomposition of vegetable matter due to the cleavage of chemical bonds. Decomposition of vegetable matter is an exothermic process. तो मैंने जो आपको समझाया, जब ग्लूकोज को yeah UX, but that would be controversial, so we would skip that. तो decomposition of vegetable matter is an exothermic process. जैसे मैंने समझाया कि ग्लूकोज को सिंपलर सब्सटेंस में कन्वर्ट कर देता है, सिंपल शुगर्स. फिर आपका प्रोटीन से उसको पॉलीपेप्टाइड्स में कन्वर्ट कर देता है. तो ऐसे आप जब ब्रेक डाउन करोगे तो यू आर ब्रेकिंग डाउन ओल्ड बॉन्ड्स टू फॉर्म न्यू बॉन्ड्स, सो दैट प्रोसेस इज एक्सोथर्मिक. तो इसको आप एक्सपेरिमेंट भी कर सकते हो. जैसे मैंने बोला, गांव में जाओ, वहाँ पे कंपोस्ट पिट लोग रखते हैं जनरली. तो वो कंपोस्ट पिट के पास अगर आप जाओगे, वो लॉट ऑफ हीट इज़ एमिनेटेड, तो आप देखोगे कि बहुत गर्मी निकल रहा है वहाँ से. तो रीज़न इज़ दिस. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. तो एक सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन है, सिलेक्ट द इमेज रिप्रेजेंटिंग द यूज ऑफ डिकम्पोज्ड वेजिटेबल मैटर. तो एक इमेज में आपका ऐसे वेस्ट में लाए हुआ है वेजिटेबल मैटर, और एक इमेज में आपका, आई थिंक दिस इज कैबेज, सम सॉर्ट ऑफ लीफी वेजिटेबल. तो ये ग्रो हो रहा है, इट्स इन अ फील्ड. सो व्हाई डू यू यूज डिकम्पोज्ड वेजिटेबल मैटर? यू कैन यूज इट एज अ फर्टिलाइजर टू हेल्प दिस प्लांट्स ग्रोइंग. तो आप इसको, so you can't use, as I told, plants need simpler substance. They can't convert this directly to their own nutrients like proteins, fats, carbs. So this is complex. Like here proteins, fats and carbs are protein, fats and carbs, but here after decomposting they convert to simpler substance like your simpler sugars, urea, all that. So I'll select this and submit. Next slide will go. Now, digestion of food is accompanied by a number of decomposition reactions. What decomposition reactions are? So, decomposition reactions, as you can see, the theme of today's lecture is decomposition reaction. So, in the previous topic, we were seeing how plants are getting their nutrients from us decomposing our waste materials. In this case, you are seeing decomposition reactions are occurring even in our bodies. So, we are we are omnivores. So, what is happening? You can see this video first. If you see this video, it is showing, you know, the stomach portion, basically our digestion system, I guess. So, what is happening in our bodies? Food is being consumed, okay, then food is being broken down into smaller substances. I think proteins are broken down into polypeptides by pepsin, so something like that. Then energy is being produced. So, in this case, energy is the focus. So, our when you are consuming, let's say, sugar is being converted to glucose by enzymes. Okay, enzymes are biological catalysts. I had taught catalysts before in this series of lectures. So, some enzyme is converting sugar to glucose. Exact enzyme, please ask your bio ma'am, she would be better knowledgeable in this. So, these enzymes, these are biological catalysts. So, then this glucose is being converted to energy, okay. So, that energy is basically heat, and some of that energy is not consumed in the body. You know, there is always efficiency in any process. So, all of the energy that is converted from glucose is not being used, and that some is being used as, some is being emanated as heat. So, we are warm blooded animals. So, the heat is coming from there, okay. So, that is basically what is being shown here. Your glucose is in your food consumed, then enzymes are breaking it down to glucose. Glucose is then being reacted with oxygen. I think this is the reaction. This reaction is famous reaction, C6H12O6 plus O2 gives me CO2 plus H2O, okay. Now, if you balance it, I think you need to get 6 here and 6 here, H2O and 6 here plus energy, okay. Some of this energy is used for your bodily functions, you know, walking, running, waking up, talking, and some of that energy, you know, is we are not able to use it because it is not a 100% efficient process, not 100% efficient, okay. So, that energy is emanated out as heat, okay. So, this is a very brute example. I am sure there are more intricacies involved. I just told in terms of chemistry. I guess in biology these steps might be, you know, even more intricate steps, and then you are getting your energy. I think some ADP mechanism is there, I think, in bio. So, that is converting your glucose to energy. So, that is how. So, next slide will go. So, basically our body, wherever we are digesting food, it is an exothermic process, that is the bottom line. And when you are digesting food, that is an example of decomposition reaction, okay, decomposition reaction, okay. Next slide. So, decomposition reactions is what? Is opposite of combination. Last class we had learned about combination. Combination, what we are doing? We were converting A and B to AB, okay. In this case, AB is being converted to A and B. There are many examples. Simple one is this calcium carbonate, which I had taught few classes back. You give heat, so it converts to CaO plus CO2. This is gas, this is solid, this is solid, okay. And A plus B to AB. So many examples I had given. One of them was this one. This one was the whitewashing example. What is ADP? Adenosine diphosphate. It's a bio term, so I am not exactly the expert to answer that. But that ADP, I think, is a molecule which is involved in the conversion of glucose to energy. You know, the energy that we require. Okay. ADP is some molecule. Exact structure I am not the expert to tell. That is used to convert your glucose to energy. Okay. I think it is there, this grade for you. I'm not sure. 10th biology, maybe it may be there, or maybe you will study in the higher grade. So this is an example of combination reaction. Okay. So you had calcium hydroxide, you absorbed the carbon dioxide from the, so basically you painted calcium hydroxide solution on your walls that absorbed carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and got converted to calcium carbonate. So this is the opposite, that is the reverse. Okay. So this is your decomposition, one is being converted to many, that is combination, many is being converted to one. Okay. Next slide will go. So classification of decomposition reaction. So there are basically three types. There are three types only. So one case, you cause decomposition reaction by giving heat. So basically what is there ki, this is a compound, let's say some calcium carbonate, okay, is lying around, calcium carbonate is lying around, but it won't by itself get converted to calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. You will need to provide the heat, the energy. Okay. So when you will provide the heat, okay, so then what will happen, it will become calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Okay. So basically it is a endothermic reaction, this is an endothermic process. Okay. And the opposite, no, this is yeah, last slide I told it was the exact opposite, it is not the exact opposite, that calcium oxide to calcium carbonate decomposition to calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide, and the opposite I told calcium hydroxide plus carbon dioxide gives calcium carbonate. So it is not an exact opposite. What I meant by that was the calcium oxide that you are getting here now, okay, if you have some watery, like water solution, if you put some water, you can basically convert this calcium oxide to calcium hydroxide. So there is still one step left. Okay. So basically for this you required heat. Okay, heat. Few classes back I had told, if you took water, okay, it dilute and added some dilute HCl to it, and you passed electricity, you will get H2 plus O2. Okay. So what you are doing, I will balance it, so it is 2, 2, okay. So this is also an example of decomposition reaction in which electricity was used. You took some water, added some dilute HCl, okay, and dilute HCl was added to increase the conductivity of solution. See, pure water is electrically, it won't conduct, it is an insulator. If you add some dilute HCl, so the current starts flowing in the solution. So when the solution current will start flowing, your H2O and O2 you will get. Okay. This is actually a process called electrolysis. Okay. Electrolysis I will teach later on, I will teach you guys. Okay. I think, yeah, I will teach later on. For now just remember it's electrolysis. Electrolysis is basically using electrical energy to make chemical reactions happen. So this won't happen by itself, you will provide the energy by passing electricity to get hydrogen and oxygen as gas. This will be in gas form. Okay. This will be your water will be in liquid. So this is one reaction. So this is also an example of decomposition reaction. Next is photochemical decomposition. So what you are doing, you are taking, so here you used heat to decompose, here you used electricity to decompose. So here you will use light to decompose. So if you took AgCl and put some sunlight on it, you will get Ag solid plus Cl2 gas. So it will decompose. Okay. So this one, if you balance 2AgCl, 2Ag. So you are using sunlight to decompose your AgCl2, Ag and chlorine. So here you can see there are three ways by which decomposition reactions are taking place. One is by heat, one is by electrolysis, and one is by sunlight, energy. So in all the three cases you had to use some energy. So you can say all three are endothermic processes. Okay, electricity. Okay, so all of them required energy. Okay, in some way or form. But endothermic process, best example as per your book and knowledge, always give this one. Don't give these two. I told that, but it is little bit beyond your course. So first example is the best example. Okay, just remember, but if energy is required to start any process, then it is an endothermic process. The next step will go. So that example only they have given: electricity, H2O, light, here heat. Okay, so these three examples should do you good enough. Okay, next slide will go. Identify the decomposition reactions among the following. So in decomposition reaction, the first point is कि one reactant is there and it is giving more than one products. Okay, so you can see in these three reaction, except the first option, in other two options you have two reactants and a single product, but in my first reaction there is one reactant and two products. So it is justifying the conditions required for decomposition reaction. So this will be option A. Drag the labels of the types of decomposition reactions to their correct example. So this one is, all three are decomposition reactions, but you have to figure out what is the type of decomposition reaction. So when you are using heat to cause a decomposition reaction, that is called a thermal decomposition reaction. When you are using electricity to cause a decomposition reaction, आप उसको बोलोगे electrolytic decomposition reaction. जब आप लाइट को यूज़ करोगे डिकम्पोजिशन रिएक्शन के लिए, आप उसको बोलोगे फोटोकेमिकल डिकम्पोजिशन रिएक्शन. सो वी नो टू कॉज दिस रिएक्शन यू नीड हीट, सो इट विल बी अ थर्मल डिकम्पोजिशन रिएक्शन. वी नो टू कॉज दिस इट इज गिवन इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, so electricity happens at photochemical decomposition reaction. Okay, and sorry, this was the wrong option. It is electrolytic decomposition reaction, and to cause this you needed light. So light means photochemical decomposition reaction. Okay, just remember, if heat is required to cause a decomposition reaction, it is called thermal decomposition reaction. If electricity is required, then it is called electrolytic decomposition reaction. If light is required, it is called photochemical decomposition reaction. This one is actually used in your black and white photography. Okay, the photographic film is made of AgCl. So if light is it is exposed to light, so it loses. AgCl is white in color. Okay, so when light is exposed to it, it loses its white color and you can get black and white photograph. So next slide will go. Let me submit. Okay, so nickname of the compound is green vitriol. This you can find in your lab. It is a green color salt. So your green vitriol is actual chemical formula is FeSO4.7H2O. So it is ferrous sulfate heptahydrate. So 7 water molecules are in a bond with FeSO4 to form hydrated ferrous sulfate. This is called green vitriol. Another one is blue vitriol, which is your CuSO4.5H2O. So this is your copper sulfate. Pentahydrate. Okay, so let's see, we'll see an interesting decomposition reaction for green vitriol. So ferrous sulfate is known as green vitriol. Let's heat it. So heating, remember, whenever you are strongly heating any substance in your chemistry lab, we use a boiling tube. So boiling tube is basically, it's a larger tube. So test tube. So you have two types of tubes. One is a test tube. Okay. So test tube is a smaller tube, boiling tube is a bigger tube. So boiling tube is used for heating high, like for longer periods of time. Okay. So this is your FeSO4. So you will be heating it for a longer period of time, so that is called as strong heating. So in that case you will use a boiling tube, because it is made up of like it is more heat resistant. Okay, okay. Your normal tubes, this is boiling tube. So whenever you are heating any salt to do some decomposition reaction, you will use a boiling tube. So test tubes, actually when you heat it too much, they crack. Okay, but a boiling tube is more heat resistant, so it won't crack. So if it will crack, it might cause some injury. Okay, so that's why. So let's watch this video. So you can see green vitriol you are heating, okay, Bunsen burner. So it is converted to some reddish brown substance. So what is it? So we'll see this again, we'll see this video. So you can see this green is first converting to white color, and suddenly that white is changing to red color. So why is that happening? So let's see. Okay, so you can take FeS. So what is happening? FeSO4.7H2O is green. Okay, so when you are heating it, so you are causing a decomposition reaction. So it is being converted to FeSO4 plus 7H2O. Okay, this is called dehydrated ferrous sulfate. So this is actually the white color. Okay, this is white. Next, what is happening when you are heating FeSO4, this unhydrated ferrous sulfate again. So you are strong heating, you are still heating it. So what is happening? So it is being converted to Fe2O3, which is your what? Brownish red rust. Okay, plus SO2 plus SO3. Okay, so basically first step, this is green is converted to white. So your hydrated ferrous sulfate heptahydrate is converted to dehydrated ferrous sulfate, which is white in color. Then this dehydrated ferrous sulfate, which is white in color, when again inflicted to heating, ये convert होता है आपका ferric oxide Fe2O3 जो कि rust है plus SO2 plus SO3. ओके, तो ये आपका रिएक्शन है. तो ये आपका रस्ट बनता है. इसको आप बैलेंस कर सकते हो. 3 + 2 इज 5 + 3 8. तो इसको अगर 2 डाल दूंगा तो हो जाएगा. दिस इज सॉलिड, दिस इज सॉलिड, दिस इज अ गैस, दिस इज ऑल्सो अ गैस. ओके, so we'll go to next slide. So this is also example of decomposition. So 2 decomposition reactions actually happened. So you can see this video. Your FeSO4 is anhydrous, dehydrated or anhydrous, you can say anhydrous ferrous sulfate. So anhydrous is the better term, so use it, anhydrous ferrous sulfate. So it is FeSO4 plus 7H2O. When you are again heating, next video, next so you can see this green color is converted to white color. Okay, so next slide if you will go, again when you are inflicting it to heat, this white color is then being converted to reddish brown, which is your rust color. So this is your ferric oxide. So this is not exactly rust, rust is actually Fe2O3.XH2O. So ferric oxide just take, so ferric oxide is your reddish brown salt, iron salt. Okay, so it is the brown color, because rust is this, rust is Fe2O3.XH2O. so it is also a hydrated form of salt, but in this case it is just ferric oxide, so it still has a brownish color. Okay, next slide will go. While heating, the mouth of the boiling tube should be pointed away from the direction of phase. Yeah, so when you are heating, doing this like this experiment, so what is happening? When the second step of the decomposition reaction, so Fe, wait, I'll change the color. So you are converting FeSO4 to Fe2O3 plus SO2 plus SO3. Okay, so these both are poisonous gases actually, sulfur oxides, dioxides and sulfur trioxide. Why? Because if they go to your mouth, okay, SO2 reacts with H2O and gives H2SO3, and this SO3 reacts with H2O to give H2SO4. Okay, so this is sulfurous acid, this is sulfuric acid. So both, if they are formed in your mouth, they can cause corrosion, burning, and it is also poisonous. So in that case, that is why the boiling tube should be kept away from your mouth. Go to the next slide. Select the models which represent gases evolved during heating of green vitriol. So that reaction only, you had converted Fe. So you had converted FeSO4.7H2O to FeSO4 anhydrous ferrous sulfate. Then anhydrous ferrous sulfate upon heating further gave you ferric oxide Fe2O3, which was the brown salt. Not salt, it is a brown oxide. It is not a salt, it is an oxide. Fe2O3 is an oxide, not a salt. So you got the brown oxide. Fe2O3 is an oxide. Salt is a different thing. Then you got sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. So sulfur dioxide is your SO2 and sulfur trioxide is your SO3. So here actually we have represented it in 3D form. So you can see sulfur trioxide is a triangular shape molecule. Okay, trigonal planar is actually the name of the shape, and SO2 is a bent shape V shape molecule. Okay, so these two are our, if you see in 3D form, and here we have carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a linear molecule, straight. This is bent shape, this is planar, triangular, trigonal planar. Okay, so I'll select both of them and I'll submit. There is some issue. Green vitriol actually SO through, some selection issue, but just remember SO2 and SO3 is being produced. Okay, so if you go to next slide, solution slide. So sulfur trioxide and sulfur dioxide, so both are being produced. Okay, next slide will go. This one again, that color thing. So we had first green vitriol, we had the white salt, white oxide, no, that is a salt, white salt, then the brown oxide. Okay, so the green vitriol is hydrated ferrous sulfate, heptahydrate, hepta because 7 water molecules are there. Then we had ferrous sulfate, the white salt, then we had ferric oxide, the brownish oxide. So we submitted. Green, that of anhydrous FeSO4 is white, Fe2O3 reddish brown. Okay, so next slide will go. So Taj Mahal is, so which thermal decomposition reaction has a significant component of the Taj Mahal? So we know Taj Mahal outer surface is made up of marble. Okay, so marble is a rock or compressed crystal structure of calcium carbonate. Okay, so calcium carbonate, what is the major decomposition reaction? So we get, when we heat it, as we have said so many times, we get calcium oxide plus CO2. This has industrial application. That calcium oxide is used in your cement. Cement major some part is calcium oxide. Okay, next slide will go. So calcium carbonate, it's a white color salt. Okay, you can find it in your lab. Next slide will go. So again, you see, when you are heating calcium carbonate in your lab, okay, so we are always using a boiling tube. This is again a boiling tube. Okay, this is a boiling tube. So here what you are doing, you are heating it and you are getting calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Okay, so it is strong heating. Temperature is about 700 degrees Celsius. Okay, 700 degrees Celsius temperature this will happen. The flame of the Bunsen burner, remember, the peak temperature is 1200 degrees Celsius. Okay, So 700 degrees Celsius, this will get converted to that in a boiling tube. So basic point of boiling tube, it is a bigger test tube. Test tubes are small, they are thermally weaker than boiling tubes, so boiling tubes are more stable. So when you are heating strongly something, we use a boiling tube, not a test tube, because it will crack. Next slide will go. Quicklime, calcium oxide common name is quicklime, and calcium hydroxide, this is quicklime, basically a tuna, that is quicklime. Then calcium hydroxide is your slake lime. Okay, so quicklime is this, slake lime is that. Quicklime, chemically calcium oxide, is used in the manufacturing of cement, so it is a major part of cement. Okay, but a major problem is when you are forming calcium hydroxide. So industrially also this process is used. They don't use a Bunsen burner or a boiling tube, they use a rotary kiln, something like this. It's like a long tube. Okay, so in that tube they keep this calcium carbonate and they put heavy heat into it by a flame, some flame they put. Okay, so the tube keeps on rotating. Okay, so that's why it is called a rotary kiln. Name is rotary kiln. You will learn this, I think this grade or else 12th you will learn. Okay, so you get calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. So this is a greenhouse gas. So whenever cement is being produced, you need calcium oxide, so you will also produce carbon dioxide. So cement production is actually one of the major contributors of carbon dioxide emission. Okay, so that is why so much research is being done to find alternative, either alternative processes to produce calcium oxide, so that we won't get carbon dioxide in an economical fashion. So right now what I mean by economical is whatever money you are spending to do this reaction, when you are selling it, you are getting back more money, so it's a profitable business. But right now I think we have not mastered a mass production method by which we can produce calcium oxide in a profitable manner. Okay, other ways are there but they are not profitable. Or the other way is you substitute calcium oxide with something else, so that you still get the properties of cement but you won't get carbon dioxide during production. Okay, so next slide we will go. Match the given bubbles to make the connection. So calcium carbonate is your limestone. So what happens is limestone is your calcium carbonate. Okay, CaCO3 common name is limestone. Okay, so when this limestone it is crushed under the earth surface, so let's say this is my earth surface, so there are many layers. So at a particular layer this limestone deposit is there. Okay, limestone deposit is there. So due to this pressure, weight of the layers above this layer, it gets converted to marble. Okay, so marble is a I think in geography you will read metamorphic rock. And limestone exact rock type I don't remember, but marble is metamorphic rock, so it is tougher than limestone. So again back to our question, we are heating limestone, so what we will get? We will get calcium carbonate upon heating gives us calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. So we will get here calcium oxide is not in the option, carbon dioxide and oxygen are in the option, so calcium carbon dioxide will be my correct answer. Okay. In the given experimental setup, identify the boiling tube. So here you can see we are doing strong heating. So in strong heating, when you are heating for a long amount of time, we don't use test tubes, we use boiling tubes. So boiling tube is what? Basically the tube, bigger test tube in which the substance to be heated is kept. So this is my boiling tube. I think there is some issue. Boiling tube is a small glass vessel used to strongly heat substances under the flame of a Bunsen burner. Okay. Next slide will go. So guys, so today you studied some more examples of decomposition reaction. You studied what was photochemical decomposition, what was thermal decomposition, what was electrolytic decomposition. Okay, so here you can see I'll change it to 10 CBSE. So I'll take CBSE. Okay, so we'll go next. We'll take 10 CBSE. We'll go next. We'll take English as our language and we'll select. Okay, so you can see so this is basically a website. I would recommend you all guys to go to ये वाला website जो हमारा है embibe.com. Okay, if you go to embibe.com, so you can practice all the questions related to this topic, types of chemical reactions. So we can go to science. Okay, and you will also get live classes here. Okay, so if you go to science and you go to our book, let's say NCERT book. Okay, so NCERT book we will open. This is our second topic, types of chemical reactions. So we go to practice. Okay, so you will get all the questions. So solution of substance X is used for whitewashing. So this is that question, calcium hydroxide plus carbon dioxide. So you can solve. So there are like 9 questions. So you can solve all these questions and see your performance. Okay. There are also live classes. So if you go to home, okay, Embibe live classes, one option is there. So you can see so biology ma'am will take at 12 PM, human circulatory system, lymphatic system. So you can join this class and learn regarding the same. So we'll go to the next slide. Okay guys, there is also a Telegram channel. So you can scan this QR and join our Telegram channel. So all the relevant content related to class timings and all you can get here. Okay. So guys, join tomorrow again at 11 AM. So we'll continue this topic and finish. I think we should finish most of this topic. So guys, thank you for attending today's class.
Keep imbibing. We believe in you.